Welcome to Conflict News 24. A look at headlines. Firstly, Congo Rwanda tensions. M23 fighters are trying to move towards Goma, while Felix Tshisekedi, Congo's president, called upon the people to organize themselves to form vigilance groups. And we have some clips for you from Goma showing youth receiving some sort of military training. Can this youth stop M23 fighters from entering Goma city? Secondly, talks EAC, East Africa Community talks to resolve the crisis in Eastern Congo are going to start in coming days. Secondly, at last, Iran today confirmed the sale of drones to Russia. Iran has been denying supplying drones to Russia. Iranian drones are being used by Russian forces, and the drones are hurting Ukrainian forces. Ukrainian military infrastructure, power infrastructure is being hit by Iranian drones. What did Iran say? Iran confirmed the sale. It said sale happened before the start of the war. And lastly, viewers, Armenia Azerbaijan are going to reach an agreement in coming weeks to resolve their long-standing dispute. But before that, ceasefire violations are being reported. Both sides are accusing each other of the breach of ceasefire. Firstly, viewers, Congo-Rwanda tensions. M23 Congolese fighters are taking control of towns and cities in eastern Congo on Congo-Rwanda, Congo-Uganda border. The fighters are allegedly backed by Rwanda. Rwanda denies being part of this conflict. Around 24 hours ago, Congo's president, DRC's president Felix Tshisekedi, called upon the people in Goma to be prepared to form vigilance groups to stop M23 fighters from taking control of Goma. Goma is the main city in North Kivu province of DRC, which shares border with Rwanda. So while Congo's government is trying to mobilize civilians against M23 fighters, it is not very likely that these civilians can stop M23 fighters from advancing towards Goma. M23 fighters are fully armed, backed by some external players, including Rwanda. Congo's government could not form a strong and unified army. For the last 2 decades, more than 1 decade, efforts have been going on to establish Congo's strong unified military. But still, Congo does not have a very strong military, though it's a big country. If you compare Congo and Rwanda, Congo and Uganda, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, is a big country, but it does not have a strong army. Several armed groups are operating in Congo. Some are anti-Uganda, one is anti-Rwanda as well. That is why these armed groups, some Congolese groups as well, they take advantage of weak military in Congo, and now they are taking control of territories in eastern Congo. M23 was disarmed in 2013 after DRC's second civil war. But last year, at the end of last year, once again, M23 resurfaced. M23 is of the view that the agreements which DRC government signed with M23 are being violated by Felix Tshisekedi's government. Felix Tshisekedi accuses Rwanda that Rwanda is fueling conflict in DRC. DRC has expelled Rwanda's ambassador. It has recalled its ambassador from Rwanda. So tensions there. Rwanda denies just a few hours ago, Paul Kagame, Rwanda's president, commissioned thousands of new cadets, new second lieutenants in a ceremony in Rwanda. Did not make a mention of the conflict in border areas, Rwanda, Congo border areas. And interestingly, one of the cadets is Paul Kagame's son. He was also one of the officers who were commissioned today at a military training academy in Rwanda today. Maybe he is the next Rwanda's leader. That is what is happening in Uganda, where Muhoozi Kainerugaba, a general of Uganda's army, Yoweri Museveni's son, wants to be the next president. Maybe in Rwanda too, Paul Kagame is preparing his son as his successor, so who completed his military training at an academy today. Rwanda, I think, has a much better army, though Rwanda is very small than Congo. Secondly, East Africa Community, EAC organization with 7 members is going to consider this crisis in Eastern Congo on the 16th of November. EAC has its members like Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, Burundi, DRC as well. Let's see, can there be some progress at the summit of EAC on the 16th of November? Will M23 fighters be invited to EAC's conference on the 16th of November? I think it will be held in Nairobi. Let's see, that remains to be seen. Kenya has announced to deploy its troops to Eastern Congo to stop M23 fighters from making territorial gains. So coming days crucial. Rwanda allegedly backing M23 fighters who are advancing towards Goma. Can they take Goma? Again, remains to be seen. We have 3 clips for you. First one shows youth in Goma being mobilized by the government. Second one shows a protest held in Kisangani, a city in Congo, against Rwanda. And third one shows the plight of displaced people from the areas where M23 fighters are advancing close to Uganda and Rwanda's border. Thousands have been displaced since the start of conflict in Eastern Congo. Watch the 3 clips. Secondly, at last, Iran has acknowledged that it provided drones to Russia. Iranian drones are being used by Russian forces in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In kamikaze drones Shaheed 136 and Mohajer 6 drones are being used by Russian forces. Kamikaze 136 drones are hurting Ukrainian forces. They are being used by Russian forces in attacks on Ukrainian military and civil infrastructure. And Ukraine has been protesting to Iran against sale of drones to Russia. Iran was denying. Iran denied sale of drones to Russia, but a few hours ago, Iranian news agency confirmed that Iran sold drones to Russia, but the sale was limited. And it happened before the start of war, before February this year. Now, it's not clear if the sale of drones was before or after the war, but Russians started using drones, Iranian drones, just around 1.5 months ago. So, had Russia been in possession of Iranian drones in February, March, April, it would have used the drones back then. Why? It means it had no Iranian drones back then. Iran sold these drones to Russia in the last 3 months or so. And Iran tried to hide this sale, but it could not. Why? You cannot hide. Several cargo flights have been tracked between Iran and Russia. Cargo flights of an Iranian airline, which is under sanctions for supplying of weapons to groups in Yemen and Syria. And back then, I think, did a video that the Iranian flights could be carrying arms. That is what is being proven now. Secondly, the debris of Iranian drones being used by Russians in Ukraine is being shown by Ukrainian media. And Ukraine invited UN experts to visit Ukraine and to inspect the debris of the drones to confirm that Iranian drones are being used by Russia. So Iran today indirectly confirmed sale of drones to Russia. Thirdly, viewers, Azerbaijan and Armenia, the two countries which fought a war in 2020, 44-day long war, still involved in border dispute over Nagorno-Karabakh, are going to reach an agreement in coming weeks, reportedly. But before that, ceasefire violations are being reported by the two sides. Azerbaijan, around 24 hours ago, claimed that on the night between the 3rd and 4th of November, Armenian forces fired at the positions of Azerbaijani army. Then just 4 hours ago, Armenia claimed the Azerbaijani forces fired in the direction of Kharamot village of Armenia. So while the two countries are making some progress towards a peace treaty, a permanent peace treaty. They did sign a treaty in 2020 when they ended the war, but now they want a treaty to end the conflict for good. So before the treaty is being finalized, tensions are rising on Azerbaijan-Armenia border. Several players are involved in the conflict between the two countries, Azerbaijan and Armenia. Iran is involved, Turkey involved, Russia as well, EU, US. Russia wants all agreements to be signed through Russian mediation. Russia does not want EU, US to be in its neighborhood. EU, US, they are hosting Azerbaijani and Armenian officials. EU has deployed, EU has sent its observers to Armenia to monitor Azerbaijan-Armenia border. So both sides are trying to consolidate their influence in this region close to Russia. That is why I think it will be difficult for these two countries to reach an agreement, because there are several spoilers in this conflict. Last week, Russia hosted Azerbaijani and Armenian leaders. Ilham Aliyev was there, Nikol Pashinyan was there. After that, a joint statement was issued which had no mention of Nagorno-Karabakh. That is why people protested in Nagorno-Karabakh, that the issue of Nagorno-Karabakh was being put on back burner. Now talks underway, peace treaty in the making. Before that, tensions arising on Azerbaijan-Armenia border. Thank you for watching.